Hi, I'm just calling to check on my Toon Link Amiibo pre-order. Yes, I'm the same guy who's called every day for the last 3 weeks. Okay. What? Are you serious? You motherfucker!
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jacob here from Nintendo Project, and this is a video that's definitely long overdue, and I've just been meaning to get around to it, but I kept seeing more and more stories about the Amiibo with like restocking problems and whatnot, so I figured, I would make one big video talking about all the problems, maybe getting this information out there, spreading it around, unless you guys have already heard about some of this. And I'm sure that you definitely have, because it's definitely been floating around the internet for quite a while now. So for some reason, you've been avoiding the internet for a while and you don't know what the Amiibo are, let me explain. The Amiibo are a line of near-field communication figurines that Nintendo has mass-produced themselves, and they're sending these things out and they're selling them for $12.99 a piece. Now, there's a lot of characters that are not gonna be that popular compared to others like Mario and Link. There's a lot of characters like Villager, Marth, Wii Fit Trainer, I know Pit and Little Mac and Captain Falcon. All these characters are really hard to find right now. And Nintendo's done a horrible job talking to retailers and talking to consumers about the problems with restocking. Let me get down to some of this specifically. When asked if certain characters are going to return, Nintendo replied with this: "We will aim for certain Amiibo to always be available." And that's pretty much it. And they also said that later on down the road, Amiibos are going to be produced in cards, so if you didn't get one of the figurines, you're going to be able to buy cards later on to get the same functionality out of them. I'm going to be honest. I see people using this as a defense for Nintendo being a horrible communicator in this debacle. And no, it's not really a cop-out for them, because why would I want to buy a card more than likely for the same price that you're charging for one of these nice-looking, well-developed figurines? I mean, the Amiibos look pretty nice. They're high quality. I have a couple of them myself, and I gotta say, I would not buy a card to use for near-field communication purposes. I mean, the added functionality of the Amiibos is nice, but I really like the build quality of these things, and I like the way these look on my shelf, like on my gaming shelf. I like how they look there. That's the main reason I buy them, because I'm only buying them for my favorite characters, for the people I main in Smash, and I'm using the Amiibos for that purpose in Smash. But other than that, I would not buy a card. I'm just being honest, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. But let me start with the restocking issue. Nintendo has been quite shady, for lack of a better word, about restocking some of their lower tier characters. Again, like Marth, Villager, and Wii Fit Trainer from the first wave of Amiibo that launched back in November, and then the second wave of Amiibo came out in December, and we already had people scrapping up anybody that they could. We had people actually not getting pre-orders filled because of poor communication on retailers and Nintendo's part. I will give the retailers a pass though, because why would they tell you if they have something in stock if they don't? Because how are they going to know unless the supplier, which is Nintendo in this case, tells them? It doesn't make sense. It also doesn't make sense that more of these figurines aren't on the shelves by now. I understand the concept of shelf space, and that is going to be a problem because they want to have each of the 49 characters out on store shelves, and I get that. You're going to have lesser tier characters get the boot, but here's a solution that you could easily implement into that. Have an online Amiibo store. Boom. Right there. Possibly wave more money in retailers' faces about getting more Amiibo space, because let's be honest, these things are printing Nintendo money. I mean, really, it probably cost Nintendo $1 to $2 max to mass produce these things. There's no way it doesn't cost any more than that. That's not to say that they're cheap quality, because they're nice quality figurines. So that's easily a $10 to $11 profit that Nintendo's making off of every single one of these right now. Well, again, I guess if you knock shipping costs and all that, but still, they've sold tons of these figurines. I mean, these things are printing Nintendo money. So I would at least hope you guys are going to restock something. But I will give them credit. During the Nintendo Direct, they did make a tiny, small, almost insignificant announcement about Marth being available. They didn't say when, they didn't say how, so it could be in card form. And again, that kind of goes back to Nintendo's awful communication regarding the Amiibo and the restocking problems, and it just kind of seems like they don't really care. I mean, to a point, the Amiibo almost seem anti-consumer, especially for collectors. I mean, if you're a collector, this has to be a nightmare for you, and I get that. That's why I'm happy I never even tried to go out and get all the Amiibo, because I don't think I'd be able to stand it. I actually do have a few friends who tried to get some of the retailer-specific Amiibo. They couldn't. They had a pre-order. They didn't get it filled. That's ridiculous. That's some major BS right there. And I mean, I can't blame them for being mad. I'm not going to sit there and tell them to just be understanding of this issue, because that's ridiculous. If you have a pre-order, it should get filled. Again, that's a fault of the retailer and of Nintendo themselves. Now let's get to the second problem that should be fixed. Scalpers. Okay. I hate scalpers a lot. I try my best to not talk about them on this channel because I never have anything good to say. At all. Never. Not once will I ever catch myself defending a scalper in any means because it's ridiculous. It is bullshit. And there's no other way to put it. If Nintendo had better communication with the retailers and the fans about this, maybe it would cut back on scalpers. I know it's not going to completely because people are always going to be that way. They're going to be complete dicks in going out and buying tons of figurines that they think are going to be lower tier characters and then creating an artificial demand out there. They're going to scrap up, like, for God's sakes, the guy who bought 100 Rosalina figurines because he doesn't like the character. What? Who does that? What is wrong with you, man? I mean, this guy is definitely misogyny at its best because he's wanting to go out and get the Palutena figurines, and I think he's also really wanting to get all the Sheik figurines he can buy, but he's just doing this so no one else can have them. I don't even think he has any plans to resell them. He literally just wants these so no one else can have them. That's horrible. And it also goes along with scalpers because Nintendo has no limits on how much you can buy, it seems like. They just let you buy however many you want. Okay, with figurines like this, if you're going to produce them in limited quantities, Nintendo, for some type of artificial rarity, then try to put a limit on people whenever they try to buy some of these. Maybe make it, you get 2 max or 3 max, and that's it. And even then, that's almost a stretch because there's a lot of stores who are not getting many of these things. I think one of my local GameStops around here, I want to say they only got like 2 villagers. I mean, that's awful. If you're going to produce these in such limited numbers, then let the fans know that so they can go out and get one. Because I've seen too many cases where people didn't realize that these were going to be limited edition figures and they try to go out and get one and they can't because it's like $60 or $80 on eBay now. There's no reason you should pay that. That's obnoxious. I honestly don't know how it's really been around the world in Europe and Japan. I don't know if these issues are really prevalent or over there. So if any of you guys are watching this out there, if you live in those regions, comment and let me know how everything is going because I'm speaking solely from a North American perspective right now because this is how it's being done over here. It's horrible. I mean, scalpers are seriously a massive problem. It's ridiculous. And mainly it's with Nintendo products because we're seeing it happen with like the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate new 3DS and we're seeing it happen with the Majora's Mask new 3DS. It's really annoying because Nintendo seems to be the only one left who thinks that really rare items are a good thing for the market. It's not really because all it does is fuel the fire for scalpers to get in and get more items and charge up the you-know-what to the consumer. It's anti-consumer and it's not fair. I would really like to have some limited edition stuff from Nintendo, but there's no way I'm going to go on eBay and spend the money on it. It's just obnoxious. I really hope with the Super Mario Bros. Series Amiibo coming out, I hope they take cues from Disney Infinity and Skylanders, because those two do an amazing job of restocking things, and they're a gold mine for those companies because they're making so much money off of them. That's because they keep everything restocked well. I honestly have to say, I'm getting really sick of going into stores and only seeing Mario, Link, Samus, and Yoshi, and Pikachu, and Kirby. I realize these are your most popular characters, and they're probably always going to be there, but would it kill you to, maybe throw consumers a bone, release, I don't know, 300 to 400 villagers again, test the waters, and you're going to see that they're going to buy them up really quick. And I get the fact that Nintendo's still working out, trying to be a toy distributor. I get that. They haven't really done much of that since, the 50s? Back whenever they were a mass producer of just different lines of toys. But I mean, come on. So, some of these issues are really unforgivable. I do feel bad for collectors. This has to be an absolute nightmare for you guys. The only problem moving forward is the fact that Nintendo has made such vague statements regarding the restocking issues. They haven't talked at all about the Pit Amiibos or the Captain Falcon Amiibos or the Little Max. None of the Wave 2 Amiibo that are hard to find have been talked about. They've only fairly discussed some of the villagers and some of the Marths, and that's it, and that is not good. Especially since we're seeing retailer exclusive Amiibo out there who are probably going to be really hard to find. Like Lucario, you're not going to get it. Rosalina, yeah, you're not going to get it for reasons I said earlier. And Shulk from GameStop, well, if Xenoblade Chronicles is any indication on what's going to happen to that Amiibo, then good luck, guys. I mean, even if you're a casual buyer of the Amiibo, then you're still going to have a terrible time trying to find some of these things. But if you're a collector, yeah, again, I can't stress enough how bad I feel for you guys. And since I'm pretty much a casual buyer of this, it was really hard for me to find Pit. I did end up buying a Pit on eBay for like 20 bucks. And that was really cheap, actually. I ended up winning a bidding war with somebody, and I'm surprised it only got up to 20 bucks. But I'm not really going to go any higher than that because that's absurd. I would never even consider paying more than $20 for one of these things. That would be ridiculous. Because yes, I do want it for the functionality, but I want it because of the quality of the figurine, and I want to have something Kid Icarus related in my room other than my giant wall scroll that you guys have seen in videos, because that is one of my favorite Nintendo franchises, and I'd like more representation of that. And the fact that these are Nintendo branded and mass produced by them, I think that's the reason a lot of people want these things, because there's so many characters out there that they just don't really give all that much love to, like some of their Fire Emblem characters in Kid Icarus and Animal Crossing, that they're constantly giving more, I guess you could say, toy love to more of like characters like Mario and Link and Kirby and all the Pokemon. So in conclusion, I know Amiibo's in the early period of its lifetime. I know Nintendo's going to get better as they go on, but I really needed to get on here and make some of this known to people. Like, if you only really watch news on my channel, then you haven't heard much about this at all then, because I haven't hardly talked about the Amiibo problems. But scalpers need to be fixed. There needs to be restrictions on people to buy Amiibo so more people can get a hold of them, because it's unfair that people can go out and buy 20 Amiibo from a place and create an artificial structure in the marketplace, and it's not fair. It's just simply not fair, and Nintendo needs to communicate better, and they need to stop being anti-consumer in this regard. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. So what'd you guys think of the video? Comment below and let me know. And like always, if you enjoyed what you saw here and you want to see something else I did, just wait a few seconds and you get a link to see some more. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.